Do you want to write a novel over the course of a month, but you don't have the motivation? Why not write it over a course of 48 hours? Over the next couple of days, we're going to see if I can write 50,000 words in just 2 days. Let's go! Are you prepared to watch my descent into brain bees over the next 48 hours? Because if so, you should hit the like button and the subscribe button, because otherwise, what is the point of doing this? So, this challenge was inspired by this tweet. It is for writing a novel in 24 hours. Now, I think that sounds all fine and dandy until I realized I had to stay awake for 24 hours. I cannot do all-nighters. They kill me. I'm too old for that already. I never did them in high school anyway. They suck. So, the way this writing challenge is going to work for me is I'm going to write in 2 12-hour chunks over the course of a weekend. I'm gonna have 4 hours to stretch or eat or cook or do whatever other things I need to do on the weekend. And then I'm gonna spend the remaining 8 hours each day sleeping. This comes out to approximately 2,080 words per hour. I'm allowed to outline beforehand, but I can't write any prose that I'm going to use in the final piece. Also, I totally don't struggle to write like 2,000 words in a day. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. So, I spent the first 2 weeks between announcing I was going to do this and actually starting to write with planning. I debated between writing a novel set in this guy's universe. He does an excellent D&D world thing that he's working on. I'm in his campaign. I love it. I am in love with the people there. And also reviving my NaNoWriMo novel from last year, which I quit because I got a job and I didn't want to be trying to do my game design job and also starting to write a novel. I decided on the latter because I wanted to push myself by developing characters that were new to me and a new setting for this challenge and not just work with things I was familiar with. Though I did set it in another part of Isaiah for the marketing purposes. You should definitely check it out whenever it's available. So I outline. I'm an outliner. I use the scene sequel method, which is where you ask what happens in the scene, and then how do the characters react to it, and then you just do that for 50,000 words. I used this chart here to flesh out the city. It is loosely inspired by Ryutama's World Building City Makers, which is a tabletop RPG from Japan. For my main characters, I like to write out their whole life stories, at least outline the major events in them, so that we can get the sort of therapy-esque backstory as to why they're as traumatized as they are, or what ways they are traumatized. And then for the side characters, I just have their personalities, motivations, and goals, with motivations being what drives them to do the things they do, like is it a sense of self, is it a certain unmet need, and goals being like, I would like to become the president, I would like to eat an apple. These are things that you can achieve. And with that, I was ready, I think. I've actually wanted to write a novel since I was 10, and I actually succeeded in writing my first novel when I was 12. It was 433 handwritten pages about a D&D boarding school or something. I didn't know about D&D then, but like it was like classes and RPG characters, and the protagonist was from an orphanage, and in a twist ending she turned out to be the wolf goddess or something, and she died, sacrificed herself for some reason, for no reason actually. I don't really remember. I didn't know what I was doing. It was bad, but I was really proud that I did it. It gave me a lot of confidence as a writer. Why love acorns? Why love acorns? There are no acorns in the state I live in. I have never touched an acorn. Let's find a section to read. I can feel it. Your hatred himself, Shannon whispered, feeling the distaste come off of the man in the waves. You had control over many hearts, including a friend of mine. However, you have absolutely no place in mine. Riveting. Hopefully, this time it'll actually be good. It is actually 12 years later today. I am 24 now. Let's see if I can actually write a novel. Good morning. I'm very tired. I've already started. This was supposed to be like the intro thing before I started. I'm feeling pretty good, but a little groggier than I'd like. 3,000 words now. I wrote chapter 1 last night and chapter 2 from like 10:10 to 11:10.
Fit check.
Not meeting my word count. As expected. But you know what? This could come out to 50,000 words after I edit it, because I am kind of a chronic Underwriter. That's not true. I don't know. I'm kind of like both an underwriter and an overwriter because I like overwrite my dialogue. My dialogue is way too many words, but my descriptions like don't exist. So, you know, I have bubble tea because that's the only on-brand thing for me. I wrote the first 2 chapters in bed, so now I'm down at my computer. I've been finding that these characters are not as well fleshed out as I'd hoped. We're currently at 5,100 words. I'm feeling pretty good about things. This last scene I wrote was honestly like kind of okay. Biggest problem is that I keep being like, oh, I need to add more detail here in this scene, and then it's like, oh, I have no time. There is no time for detail. So I'm definitely gonna have to do editing stuff later, like a lot of it. I mean, obviously, but like even more so than on average. Anyway, now I'm getting lunch. Here's lunch. Yeah. I'm feeling okay. I think this is gonna happen okay. I mean, I don't actually, but it's gonna be okay. So, everything's so much work. I know you probably think I'm being dramatic, but my hands hurt so much. That's the biggest problem. I'm at 15,000 words. I have 3 more chapters I technically need to write tonight. It's like 11 something, and that's not gonna happen if I do them in full. If I do like full renderings, to steal an art term. So I'm gonna do 1 for real and 2 that are like really sketchy. Like it's gonna be just like a couple of good lines and then some very broad strokes narration. And you know what? I can work from that. I can work from it later. I didn't expect my hands to hurt so much. My hands really hurt. I thought I was gonna quit this at like 4,000 words. I thought I was gonna get to 4K and just like brain freeze. But I'm at 15,000, so I've already won more than I expected. So now we just gotta get to the end. You where? Nowhere to go. Oh no. He's oh no, I'm gonna cry. At midnight bell. I did it. I did 12 chapters. My hands hurt. My head hurt. I sleep at night. Check. Starting day 2 now. It is 11:30, which is way later than I thought I wanted to get started. Woke up with a bit of headache this morning, so I tried to like sleep in to fix it, and it didn't. So now I'm just, you know, existing. But it's I have faith. If I stick to the sketching thing that I did last night, I should be fine. I should be able to do things. It will not be near the word count that I'm supposed to be hitting, but it will be like finished-ish. So yeah, let's get to writing. My brain is bees, but I stopped at 25,000. Wait, yes, that's the correct number, 25,109. But I have something written for every single chapter and every single plot point, like a coherent story. I'm too tired to write more. I don't think any of the words I'm gonna write are usable. The ones I've written already are barely usable, so there's no point in continuing when my brain is bees. Things went well. Kind of finishing. Things that didn't go well. The Pyrrhic victory of giving up when it's good enough. But, you know, it's like kind of exciting, but also like, ugh. Anyway, my boyfriend's gonna take me to get sushi, so that's the most exciting thing that's happening here. It's a few days later now. I've had some time to process, some time to rest my hands. And some of the biggest things I've learned, firstly, I can actually write a lot in a day. Before this challenge, I struggled to write like even 2,000 words in a single day, like for NaNoWriMo in the past when I've tried to do it. But now I feel like I can confidently say I can write 1,500 words in an hour if the scene is planned out. And if I start with the dialogue first, that's my second tip to myself, I just write the dialogue, then I fill it in with the descriptions and the dialogue tags and all that, And then lastly, I do the actual editing, some of the line editing to make it more readable. And even then, you know, I probably want to wait and do that after I do some more developmental stuff. Secondly, I suppose thirdly, I learned that I put a lot of emotions into what I write. I have to really feel the emotions in the moment, sort of secondhand, or at least imagine what they feel like. And so I get really numb if I'm doing all of these super emotional scenes back to back to back. One of the things that reset that for me, now I didn't talk about this very much while I was during the process, I would stop sometimes and watch 20 minutes of Violet Evergarden, or I watched the opening segment of Arcane, I watched some Genshin Impact character trailers, and between all of those things, they sort of reset my emotions. They made me really excited to create things again because those are the things that inspired me. So if you're feeling like you don't know what you want to write, even if you're not writing anything related to those things, find your like emotional core and it will sort of retune it for you and just watch that again. Lastly, do hand stretches. My hands hurt so much during this, and I think the only way I save them is doing this, and this, and this with them, I think. I don't know. This is what I learned from my high school art teachers who always told me that it was really important to do hand stretches if you're drawing for a long time, and the same goes for typing on a non-ergonomically correct keyboard, because my keyboard is just like, you know, a standard laptop keyboard. Those were my big takeaways. I feel a lot more confident as a writer after doing this, even if I don't actually recommend it for like writing a novel. I think that the better way to write this novel would have been just 1,500 words a day over the course of a bunch of days, or over the course of a bunch of Mondays. I usually try to make time to write on Mondays. So thanks for watching. I'm going to have some follow-up interviews in the upcoming days with my friends who did this with me. So shout out to them for being great and helping me through this whole process. It was certainly an experience. So that's it. Take care. I hope that you are all doing very, very well, and I hope that this inspired you to get back to writing your work in progress, whatever that is. Good luck with NaNoWriMo. It's probably gonna be easier for you to do that than for me to have done this. I believe in you. Bye-bye!